Good afternoon, everybody. The fans of Elvis Presley continue to mourn his death today, a death that came as a shock to all of us. The late singer's body was returned to his Memphis mansion this morning, and plans were made to put the body on view there for 2 hours to allow mourners to pass by and pay their respects. Presley will be buried tomorrow after private funeral services. Newsman Jerry Liddell has a report on the gap that is left behind.
Elvis Presley, the good old boy we were always told used to be a truck driver. Elvis Presley, for better than half of his 42 years, a superstar, symbol of a generation. He was, in fact, Elvis the King 10 times longer than he was Elvis the Trucker. He carried a generation, 20 years to the 2 years he hauled a load through red clay country. A few of the lucky will remember Elvis this way, in concert.
Thank you very much.
But Elvis Presley reached most of his generation this way, through records and through the radio.
Well, I guess stations all over the United States are doing what we're doing here on WBZ, and that's playing songs by Elvis Presley. And if they miss this one, they're making a big mistake, because it's got to be one of the best Elvis Presley records of all time. Besides, I think it's great. This is Old Shep.
Elvis Presley reached us because his sounds, his style of blues, or whatever it was that became the hallmark of rock and roll, came at us from every radio in the land.
Well, rock had started about, 2 years earlier, and everybody knew something was happening, but I don't think people knew what just was happening. As far as radio was concerned, he probably aided the demise of network radio as we knew it back then when I first started in the business in the early 50s, because people wanted to hear music, and he made people go into record stores, of course. He was good for every recording artist, because he got people into stores buying one of his records, and they'd buy one of somebody else's records. I remember people that nobody will ever be as big as Elvis Presley. Well, they were wrong. And I don't know if anybody will take his place. That's a different story. No, to somebody, there will never be an Elvis Presley. But for a commanding figure in the business, sure, I think so.
Elvis Presley, the pioneer with one simple task in life, to bring rock and roll to all of us. And that he did.